Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to remote learning. This is grade 3 sciences. Today we are going to start with the second week of this online session. So today is the second day of the online session of this second week. I hope you are studying along with the enjoyment during holidays. Always do your work date-wise and submit it timely in the Google Classroom. So before I start with today's lesson, I would advise you to keep your skill books and stationery items with you so that you may do the homework once you finish the classwork. So let's start with this classwork for today. Today we are going to start with 3.3 unit of your skill book. Open your skill book and open 3.3 unit. This unit is how do solid, liquid and gases behave. We have studied before, students, that the gas, solid and liquid, they all are made up of particles. In solids, the particles are closely packed. They can't move from their place, so that is how the solid have a definite shape. In the same way, the liquids, they are having space between the particles. So that is why they can move around, they slide past over each other, and that is why the liquids, they don't have their definite shape. They take up the shape of container. Now about gases, all the gases, they are having some difference between their particles. All the particles are far away from each other, so they don't have any shape, and the particles are away, they are not in contact with each other. So our today's lesson is based upon the particles and their arrangement in all types of matter, whatever they are. So if the solids, particles are compactly arranged. In liquid, they have space in them, and in the gases, they are very far away from each other. Now look at this second question. The first question is, draw a picture of the particle of the air inside a bubble. So you all can make the bubble with the help of your washing liquids, and you can see that sometimes the bubbles are having some air particles inside it. So in the second part of this question, draw the same number of the particles of air when the bubble bursts. Whenever we make some bubble with the help of our washing liquids, once they are formed, they stay for 5 to 10 seconds, and after which they burst. But whenever we observe those bubbles, they all have air particles in them. So in this part B of the first question, what you have to do, you have to draw a bubble, make some particle of air inside it, and when it bursts after 5 to 10 seconds, you can draw the particles which are out of this bubble after its bursting. So what you have to do, if you are going to draw 10 number of particles here, the same number of particle of air should be drawn over here after bursting of the bubble. So draw the bubble, show some air particle inside the bubble, and then show it once it is burst. Once it is burst, it will show the same number of particles which are coming out of this bubble. Now, second question. Why can't you change the shape of the brick by squeezing it? The bricks are very hard. You can't change their shape. They have definite shape and they have their weight as well. So whenever you pick them, they are definitely very heavy, and if you want to squeeze them, you can't change their shape. The soft materials, they can show the change in the shape, and the same way whenever you stretch them, they can be molded into different shapes. But about the solid materials like brick, they can't change their shape. and they are having their weight as well. That is how you can't change their shape, because of their weight and because of their particles which are very closely packed. So answer of question number 2 is we can't change the shape of brick as it is solid and its particles are closely packed together and cannot move. So this is the answer of your question number 2. Now third question is, how do you think it is possible to squeeze some of the solid into different shapes? Now sometimes the solids have been changed into different shapes. For example, the knives, the spoons, they have their definite shape. You can't change their shape. Once you try to change their shape, you have to use certain tools. For example, you need certain machines to cut the steel rods and then change into the shapes of forks and spoons. Similarly, you also need some cutters to cut the wood and saws to cut it into the smaller parts. So whatever is needed, it should be done with the help of certain tools. So whenever you need to cut the solids, you have to use certain tools like saw, like cutters, like machines, like many other things, or you have to break them with the help of tools. So answer of 3 is solid have their fixed shape. We can change the shape by using tools and through stretching and breaking. Sometimes we break it with the hammers or sometimes we can stretch it. Now fourth question is, draw the label diagram to explain how the puddle form when it rains. Puddle is formed after the rain because all the dust and soil around it joins with the water and then it forms a puddle. So all the solid particles of soil, they along with the water, they form the puddle. So rainwater falls down to the ground and forms a puddle. FORM. So sorry if there is any spelling mistake, so I am going to correct it. This is FORM, form. So rainwater can fall down on the ground and form the puddle, and then what happens after once the puddle is formed with the solid particle of ground, it seems it be like this. This is the shape of puddle, and then it is having some solid particles of soil along with the water in it. So this is how the puddle is formed. Puddle is having the water as well as the solid particles of soil of ground. So this is how you can draw the picture showing the puddle, along with that the solid particles of soil. So boys and girls, you do your work, submit it timely in the Google Classroom. Inshallah, we will discuss more about your solid, liquid and gases. So this was 3.3 unit of the chapter matter. Do your work and submit it timely in the Google Classroom. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.